what if we have a situation where the perpendicular height is not given? The formula is still area of base times height divided by 3. Now look at this. There are two questions. They are not the same, they look similar. The 10 that you see here is the height of actually the triangle. This 10. The 10 that you see here is the slant height of the pyramid. So they are not the same. So this 10 is not the same as this 10. You need to be very careful. So let's look at the first one. We're going to use Pythagoras to find out the perpendicular height. If that is 12, from this center to this side has to be 6. So we have 10 as the hypotenuse and 6 using Pythagoras, the subtraction rule, to work out the height. So 10 squared minus 6 squared, square root of that will give you 8. So we now know that the height is 8. So therefore go back to the formula. Area of base is 12 times 12 times it by the height. Height is 8 and divide by 3. So it's 384 cm cubed. So you use Pythagoras to find out the height first before you use the formula. Let's look at question 2. Now that's a bit tricky. So you must first work out, use 12 and 12 to work out the hypotenuse of that. So using Pythagoras, that will give us 12 root 2 cm. Now I'm going to divide 12 root 2 by 2 such that I can make a perpendicular height to form a right angle triangle with a 10. So divide 12 root 2 by 2. Okay, so you see I've now formed a perpendicular height, and the yellow and the green and the blue makes a right angle triangle. The green is half of 12 root 2. So half of 12 root 2 is 6 root 2, and I'm using the subtraction rule. 10 is the hypotenuse, so 10 squared minus 6 root 2 all squared. Square root of that will give us 2 root 7. So our yellow height is 12 root 7. I can now go back to the area of base, which is 12 times 12 times it by the height, 2 root 7, then divide the whole thing by 3. And that will give me 254 centimeter cube, rounded to the nearest whole. So know the difference between these two questions. This way you can create right angle triangles straight away. This way you need to make the diagonal at the bottom first. Divide that diagonal into 2, half it, form a right angle triangle with the perpendicular height, and use the subtraction rule of Pythagoras to work out your height before you use the formula. So know the difference between the two questions. They look similar, but the approach is different. Okay, here I have a cone, but the height is not given. I've been given rather the radius and the slant height. But I could see that I could make a right angle triangle and also use Pythagoras to find my perpendicular height. Remember, the height is always perpendicular height. So using Pythagoras, you're going to have 17 squared minus 8 squared. Find square root of that. Height is now 15. So formula is area of base, which is pi r squared, pi 8 squared, times it by the height, which is now 15, divided by 3. We now have our answer 320 pi cm squared, which gives us 1005.3 centimeter cube. So this introduction, linking Pythagoras into volume. For us to